It's said that Artemis liked to swim in the waters of Lake Voulismeni. This minute round lake is less than 100 meters in diameter and located in the center of the little town of Hagios Nikolaos. For many years it was said that the lake was bottomless and that it led directly to Hades. The sad truth of the fact is that legend's all wrong. The lake is actually only 64 meters deep.
Hermes, on orders from Zeus, went to the island of Calypso. What he saw there enchanted him. Seabirds fluttered in the clear sky. Beautiful vineyards loaded with luscious grapes covered the hillsides, and the prairies were filled with flowers. Hermes said to Calypso, "Divine nymph, I bring a message directly from the great Zeus. A Trojan warrior is hiding in your home. 7 years ago, Ulysses was carried by a storm to your shores. Send him away, Calypso. The gods now wish him to return home."
How just like you gods of Olympus. Only you are capable of such cruelty. Do you so envy me for having found love with a mere mortal? Will you hold it against me for wanting to marry him? Who saved him? Who nursed him back to life? When I gathered him up from the sea, he was almost dead. And now you want to take him from me.
The broken-hearted nymph knew she had to obey. She came out of her cave and went down to the shore to find Ulysses.
Beloved Ulysses, cease your worrying. I know what your heart desires, and I am setting you free. Build yourself a raft. I'll give you enough food and drink to last you for the journey, and I'll send you back toward your birthplace, your beloved Ithaca, because the gods' wishes are stronger than my own.
Sailing home to Ithaca, Ulysses landed hundreds of times on the shores of the Mediterranean, encountering the best and the worst of adventures. In Sicily, the cyclop Polyphemus, the god Smithy, devoured several of Ulysses' companions, and from his high lair on Mount Etna forced our hero back out to sea.
He ripped up a bit of mountainside, spun it over his head, and hurled it at Ulysses' ship. The rock landed not far from the tiller and almost broke it. There was an enormous splash, and the great wave luckily carried Ulysses' boat back to his fleet.
The rocks Polyphemus threw from the volcano's peak landed near Achitesa, several dozen meters from the shore. At least, that's the local legend. You should know, Alexis, that the gods are capricious and demanding. They may allow men to live, bear children, and gather good harvests, but in exchange they demand wonderful gifts, and above all, complete obedience.
Archilochus does not explain how the gods can sometimes express their wrath, but when the masters of nature are upset, they're capable of setting into motion all kinds of cataclysms.
Minos had taken hold of power in over 100 cities of Crete. From Knossos, he reigned over the island and beyond it. Thanks to his large fleet, he managed to keep pirates and the barbarian hordes outside his kingdom's borders. He built new cities on the islands and nearby mainland. He gave them beauty and life, and Crete became the home of one of the world's most brilliant civilizations.
On orders from Minos, the architect Daedalus built a labyrinth to imprison the Minotaur. The stone maze was so intricate that if Theseus hadn't had Ariadne's thread, he would never have been able to find his way out after killing the dreaded beast. This incredible monster was the fruit of the unnatural love of a queen and a bull, and was undoubtedly the first animal in the great bestiary of European legend and mystery.
Today, thousands of years after the Minotaur, and thousands of kilometers away from Crete, there is another animal which could be legend or could be fact. On the 29th of September 1952, John Cobb made an attempt at breaking the world speed record on water. He'd selected a long, narrow lake for the trial. The weather was wonderful, the surface of the lake was perfectly smooth, and the crusader shot forward to set a new record. Then the boat suddenly hit a wave that seemed to surge up from nowhere and literally flew into the air. John Cobb was killed instantly.